Hey, hey, okay. Silent Night Smoky Eyes. So fun. A new, fresh way for smoky eyes that is like soft and subtle, yet has the same like impact as like the smoky eye. So, smoky eyes are, I feel like they're always on trend. They change a little bit of how you apply it and what you do, but like smoky eyes, I feel like have been around for such a long time. And yet, it's gonna be one of the most trendy makeup looks for the year of 2022 to 2023. So, like, as we're heading into the new year, like, it's going to be one of the most trendy things that you see. And so, the interesting yet easiest part of the smoky eye, is that it usually just includes like 3 to 4 shades. So it has a dark, a medium, and a light, and then you can add like a third shade in there that either is between the medium and the dark, or maybe like a little bit of a pop of color. But all of those 3 shades are gonna blend so well together just to kind of create this dramatic look. So you can carry it to parties, dinners, pictures, all the things. And so there are many different variation of smoky eyes, and I'll post some pictures of some different makeup looks and different techniques, because where you apply it will make a difference on how it looks. But tonight or today, I'm going to show you how to do a smoky eye that looks good on all skin tones, all eye colors. You just might have to shift your shades a little bit, but for the most part, it's going to look good on all skin tones and with different eye colors. And so I love this super easy smoky eye because it's super versatile and it doesn't take tons of time to do. And you can match it with almost any like lipstick or outfit, for like that classic fancy night out. And smoky eyes, they don't have to be hard. That's like one of the most requested things that I hear is to learn is like, how do you do a smoky? How do you do smoky eye? Because, and you've seen those memes before where it's like the raccoon eyes, like where you like, like I have to do, make both eyes exactly the same. And I will say one tip with that is to like do each step on each eye so you can keep going versus doing one whole eye and then trying to match the other eye. It's going to be easier to do step one, step one, step two, step two, step three, all the way through. So that way they match and they go together. And the other thing I'll say too, like your smoky eye doesn't have to be over your entire lid. So if you've ever tried to do a smoky eye over your entire lid and it was like too much, and you're like, okay, no, that's okay. Like you can move it closer to your lash line. You can shape it and style it a little bit different. Like it really does, like with your eye shape, your face shape, and then how you apply it really will kind of dictate how it looks. And so just know that too, that it's like okay to play with it a little bit. And sometimes it's hard to like when you see that perfect tutorial like on YouTube and then you're like, ooh, it doesn't look like that on me. It's okay. So hopefully today's steps will help simplify that for your eyes and for your face. So the first step will be choosing like your shadow colors. And and if you want to get really specific, you can pick warm or cool undertones depending on your skin undertone, because that will also like that plays a big role in your eye colors, that you pick. So if you're a warm undertone, and if you took that foundation quiz that Casey talked about at the beginning of the day, if you take that quiz, you should be able to find out if you're a warm, cool, or neutral undertone. And so from there, you'll know like, okay, my undertone is cool. So you can pick cooler eyeshadow colors to put on your eyes. That will be best. Again, it doesn't look bad if it's not your right undertone. It you can't unsee what you see. So I'll just say that. If you have more questions about that, you can definitely let me know. But then, so you pick your dark color, you pick a medium color, medium shade. That is your next little step there, and the medium shade is gonna kind of go with that dark tone that you picked. Okay. And this medium shade is typically 1 to 2 shades darker than your lid. And then the third color, will be like a light, okay? Like a highlighter type, lighter kind of color. It can be close to your skin tone or even just like a little bit lighter. And then if you want to add a fourth color, depending on your other three shades, your fourth color might be like a highlight shimmer because we're going to kind of touch up with that at the end. Or it could be like a pop of color or even like a really rich, deep color, really pigmented, like a black or a deep brown or a deep berry or purple or something like that. So you have options. Okay. So if you're picking 3 to 4 shades with that, the other thing that I would say is have on hand is like Q-tips and like a clean brush and then even some makeup remover. That always helps because that's another thing. Like you can just get in there and get messy and then clean it up versus trying to get everything perfect as you go along. Okay. So, yeah, I think those are all my little tips at the beginning here. And then we're going to jump in. So, the best part too with the steps that I give you here in a second is that you can change the shades of colors that you pick if you want to add more drama or if you want to keep it more natural. And you can pick like lighter shades if you want to go more natural. You can pick some deeper tones if you want to go more dramatic. And then you can also change the way that it looks with your final touches. So, like your lipstick, you can make it a neutral color. You can make it a pop, like a red or a berry or a pink. And depending on how like your outfit goes with it too, right? So if you're having like a party night out, a little bit fancier, it will make your smoky eye just look different than if you're wearing like work clothes, for example. So those are kind of like some beginner steps. Tips. Let's jump into the steps. So, step 1 is going to be doing a primer for your eyelids. So you prime your eyes. The primer, I've already primed mine, but basically it's just going to help your eyeshadows look more pigmented. It keeps them in place, all the things. So step 2, you're going to apply your lightest shade all over your lid. Okay, and you're going to do this from lash line all the way up to your eyebrow. And this is just going to set for a clean palette. Okay, you could also use like a concealer on this step if you wanted to. You just want to get everything kind of like just like a clean palette where everything is going. So this shade is going to be the one that is closest to your skin tone, and it just is going to give you a nice canvas to go on. Okay. That was step 2. So step 1 was prime. Step 2 was lightest shade over your entire lid. Step 3, we're going to do your light brown shade on the crease, and um, it could also be like a gray, like a medium gray or a medium brown for this shade. Okay. And so I'm going to use the eye smudger brush. It's like a small brush with just like a little bit of a tip. And I'm going to apply this crease and concentrate the color in my crease without reaching like the inner corner of my eye. And you also do not want to go up to your brow bone. Okay. So the other thing I'll say is if you apply your eyeshadow and then you open your eyes and you can't see it, then what you're going to do is create a fake crease. And so you're going to go a little bit higher. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to do some medium tone here. And so I'm going to go in my normal crease back and forth. And again, this is like the medium shade. Okay. And I'm not going all the way to my inner corner. So I'm stopping like right about here. I'm going back and forth in my crease. And now let me show you. So if I open my eyes, you can't really see it. Okay. So that means that I have to go a little bit higher. Okay. But not right underneath your brow bone. So you're just going to go a little bit higher so that when your eyes are open, you can see just a hint of it. Okay. And that will be your fake crease. So it's a little bit higher than the natural. But if you apply your eyeshadow just normal in the normal crease and then you open your eyes and you can see it, you do not have to do a fake crease. Okay. It's only if you like see this side, you can't, if I just look straight ahead, you cannot see the eyeshadow that I just put on. Okay, so that means I got to go a little bit higher for that fake crease. So that's kind of like your test. Like do it in your crease first, open your eye and see if you can see it. If you can see it, then you're good. If you can't see it, you got to go just a tiny bit higher. Okay, so there's both sides. And that was your step 3 with your light brown or light gray shade in the crease. Okay. So the other thing with this, you can take your time building the color, adding more layers um, with the same shade. Okay. And then you keep blending it with a small, like fluffy brush. So I have one of those here. So after you've applied it with that small brush, you can buff it out. Okay. So if you see the difference here, soft, and this one's not blended. Do you see how like there's no product on this brush? It's just a fluffy eye blending brush. And you just go back over what you just did and that will kind of soften it. Okay. And then you can keep applying to your crease here the depth that you want it. So you can go a little bit, another like layer. I'm going to do one more layer here. And this is just creating some dimension in your eyes. And so you'll go back through and apply it. And then you go back. That was that first brush that I used with the point, the eye smudger brush. And then now I'm going to do the fluffy brush again and just go back and forth and kind of blend it out. But you can see that it's creating already like the shape of my eye and it's creating that depth. And then we're building into that smoky. Okay. So you could stop here for like an everyday look, like you could be done with your eyeshadow. But you see how just that little bit created so much definition in your eyes. Okay. So step 4 is applying a medium brown or medium gray eyeshadow. And you're going to add it to the step that we just did with a small brush. Okay, so the first, you're going to concentrate just the color on the crease and then use that fluffy brush again to blend it out. And again, do not get to that inner corner of your eye. Okay, we don't want to touch the brow bone. We don't want to go there. So we're taking a darker color. And so if you see, we buffed it out and blended it. So this next one that we do is going to go in that crease, but you want to still see that first layer you did. So you're not going to take it all the way on top. You're going to kind of go like just like a smidge below that. But because you've buffed it and because you blended it with this lighter color, we're now going to go in with a little bit darker of a shade. Okay. I'm going to go right in there in that crease again. And I'm using that eye smudger brush. And I will show you, I won't blend it right away so you can see where that's at. Okay, so you can see that just by adding that next layer, it's automatically becoming a little bit more smokier, but we're not going any higher than what we've done. That's kind of like your line. You can't go past that now, okay? Because that's one thing that makes it look crazy when people try to do a smoky eye. They take their smoke all the way up top to the brow bone, and you need that space there, okay? So that first step that we did that softened it has now put a line, like you cannot pass that, okay? Let's see, we have a question here. What shade is in my crease? So the first one, the lighter color that I did was hazelnut. And then what is this one? The name rubbed off. I will look it up. It's a darker brown here. Look it up really. Mahogany, I bet that's what I bet it is. I see the M. Yeah, so mahogany is this darker shade that I'm using right now. And it's just like a nice warm brown. Okay, let me do the other side here. And so I mean, like grays and browns are neutral colors. And so they look good on all eye colors because your blue eyes will pop, your green eyes will pop, and they complement a brown eye very well too. So like it will make your brown eyes pop even if you have brown shades around it because the focus becomes your eyeball. And then again with skin tones too. So if you have a darker skin tone, that first color I used was like hazelnut. You might start a little bit deeper and your darker will be darker than what I'm using right now. If you're lighter, you might do lighter shades, okay, of browns or grays. Okay, so I'm kind of in the middle. So if you want to kind of gauge that as well, but skin tones, again, browns and grays will look good with it. If you pick more warm grays or browns, and you can mix browns and grays too, I feel like is really pretty as well. So all right, so let me get in here, going back in the crease. And now I'm going to take my fluffy brush again, and we're going to blend it out just like we did in the first one. And again, with this, I'm going to almost like smudge this one down. I don't want to like blend it up because I do not want to cross that first line that I did, right? So I'm blending this down, and it's okay if it gets onto your eyelid because that's going to be creating more of that smoky eye. Okay. Show you the difference here before I blended, not blended. So let me blend that. So I'm like doing this back and forth. And so it's getting down onto my eyelid a little bit, but I'm not taking it over my entire lid. Okay. So it's still just doing that blend and layer, blend and layer. Okay. So from here, if you needed to add another layer, you could go back in with that deeper brown and do another layer. If you're like, I need more color, or, or if you need to blend it more, you can go back with that brush and just blend it out. Okay. So I'm liking how it's looking so far. So I'm not going to do another layer of the dark because I don't feel like I need to. If you do, that is okay. You can totally do that. Again, stay away from your brow bone and don't get into the inner corner. We need this part to stay light, okay? So step 5 is to blend it well, which I was kind of already talking about, but you want to make sure you have a brush like this. It's an eye blending brush. It's very fluffy, and you want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure there's no product on it when you're blending it, because that allows you to have a like smooth blended smoky eye, like perfectly blended. And then we can move on to that darkest part. Okay, so if you have product on this though, when you're trying to blend, it's going to smear the products together. It becomes more muddy, or all that, you can't see the definition and all of that work that you've done. So make sure it's a clean brush before you blend it, and then keep checking in between and go back and forth between both eyes. Okay, so now we are going to get into our darkest color, but before we do that, you're actually going to take an eyeliner pencil. So I would recommend doing a deep brown, whether you're using like any of the smoky eye colors, like if you're doing black or gray, or a purple smoky eye, blue smoky eye, it doesn't matter. I would do the deep brown. It's dark enough, and you're going to apply eyeshadow over top of it. But this step is going to just intensify your look a little bit more. And so you're going to apply the pencil eyeliner on your lid, your lower lash line, okay? And then on your actual eyelid on this is as close to your lash line as possible as well. But we are going to like smudge this one out. So this one does not have to be perfect, and it can also be a little bit thicker because it is going to intensify your look a little bit. So I'm just going to get in there and just show you, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I'm just getting it on my eyelid. Again, I'm keeping it away from the inner corner there. And so now let me smudge that out. Let me see what I'm going to take here. Okay, I'm going to take a new smudger brush, a clean one. You could also use your finger, but I'm just going to like rub this clean brush over the top of what I just did. And it's going to smudge it out. And we are going to put a little bit of shadow on top of it as well. But this deep brown, you can see, like, I just did it on like 3/4 of the eye out. And by like smudging it in there, the same thing I'm going to do on the lower. And I'm only going to go about halfway in on the bottom lash line. I just feel like when you keep the inner corner of your eye without eyeliner, without dark shades, it opens your eyes, it brightens your eyes, it widens your eyes, which are all the things that we want, right? So same this time I am going this direction versus going this direction, okay? That is on purpose. So this allows for a little bit of an eye lift. And I'm also smudging it in there and it's connecting the outer corner, if you can see. Let's see if there's any questions. You guys see the difference? Like how I'm adding a little bit of smoke to this side versus that side. So that is just with eyeliner and it makes it soft without being like super like graphic, which is okay. But our theme was Silent Night, soft, smoky eyes. Okay. So let's do the other side. So again, this one does not have to be perfect with this eyeliner. I'm just getting it on the outer 3/4, nice and thick. Doesn't really matter. Bottom about halfway in. Okay. And then I'm taking that smudger brush again and just kind of like smudge it into your lash line. But then as you do that bottom, take it upward, right? Like the same angle as like your nose to your eyebrow. That's the angle that you want to brush it upward. Okay. Okay, let me get a little bit closer here so you guys can kind of see what's happening here. Okay. But you can see that it's like just focusing like on my eyes. And it is just it's smoky, but it's not like raccoonish, right? Nobody wants raccoon eyes. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a smudger brush, the first smudger brush. So I have two. Okay, so that first one was to smudge this the eyeliner. I'm gonna take the first one, which is what we did our crease on. Okay, the same like little pointy brush. Okay, and now I'm gonna take a shimmer brown and I'm gonna go over that. You could keep it matte. You could do a pop of color here if you wanted to. I think I'm gonna do, let me see what the name of this one is. Gold. I'm gonna do golden mauve. It's a shimmery brown, but there's like those mauvey undertones. So I'm gonna do that over what we just did with the eyeliner. And by putting that eyeliner on first like that, this powder actually is gonna set it in place. So it'll help it last longer as well. All right. See, so it's in the brown family still. Just gives it a little bit of shimmer. But again, if you want to keep it matte, you can totally keep it matte. Cool. So there's that. Now I'm going to take a brush, like an all over eyeshadow brush. Looks like this. And I'm going to take my lightest shade. It can be a shimmer or a matte. I'm going to do what's called Candlelight. And it's like a nice neutral shimmer. And so I'm going to start on the inner corner of my eye. And I'm only going to go about halfway. So you can see where all of our pretty colors are. We're not going to go over all of that. Okay. So I'm going to just stay right here on the inner eye. Okay. And I'm going to blot it kind of like right in the middle, but I'm not blending. I'm like placing it. I want it exactly here. So that's where it's going to go, if that makes sense. So in the inner corner, and I'm going to blot it right in the center of my eye. Okay. Do you see that placement there? And can you see how it has brightened it up just a tiny bit? And it's going to give that little pop right there in the center. So I'm going to go right there, kind of in that inner tear duct. And then I want it right there. So that's where it's going. And you place it versus brushing. If you brush, you can start to mix some of the colors together. And then you can just, take a peek. And if there's things that need like readjusted or whatever, you can totally like get back in there and do it. So you are funny. So good. Okay, cool. You guys are funny. All right. So, okay. So now if you wanted to do more graphic eyeliner, you would go back through and do a thinner line and more particular versus the smudgy things that we just did. Okay. The only thing that I am going to do with my eyeliner this time around is I'm going to get my waterline underneath. So I'm just going to go back and forth right underneath here. So it gives a nice dark line and it will make the white parts of my eye whiter, if that makes sense. But if you wanted more graphic eyeliner, you could do that. You could do it with a liquid eyeliner. You could go back with the pencil. I'm going to leave mine like this for this more softer, smoky look. But if you wanted, again, you could do more winged eyeliner. You could totally do that. Okay. Next step would be mascara. And get my eyeshadow palettes here off of my lap. So the first step would be curling your lashes with that. Just taking a lash curler. Okay. And then you can get in there with mascara, or you could do like false eyelashes depending on where you're going, what you're wearing it for. Totally up to you. They have all kinds of like false lashes now that you can do and use, like magnetic ones. You can glue the strips on, you can glue individual lashes in, all different kinds. But that lashes a definite, whether you're doing mascara or false lashes, doesn't matter. This smoky eye needs mascara, needs dark lashes with it. And you can do several coats. Ooh, that's fun. Do you ever do that? You miss the wand going back in and it gets all over your hands. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? The only other things that I would do to like finish your look off is make sure you do a lipstick. Okay, I already have my lipstick on and it's more of a bold lipstick and you can still see like bold color, bold eye can still go together. You could also pair it with a really pretty nude. All right. You could do red lip. That's like perfect for the holidays, right? Is like to find your perfect red lip. And we will be talking about that later today to find out your red lip and how to get it to last. So if you want to, pair it with that. The only other thing that I would do is a cheek color. And one that I feel like works with most is like a peachy color, and that is also a trendy color right now. But like a peachy is kind of more of like the nude. And if you have blue eyes, it'll bring out your blue eyes more. But peach also looks great with green eyes. It looks pretty with brown eyes. So you could find a peachy or a coral kind of color depending on how deep your skin tone or how light it is. But I feel like a nice peachy peach is really pretty with that. So there's the smoky eyes. And again, you could go bolder with whatever colors you pair with it, or you could do the same technique and just use like lighter shades as well. It's just a finishing powder. Blend it all out. But then you are ready to go. So good. Cool. Any questions? I hope that these steps were like made it a little bit more simple for you. You can definitely save this and like as you're applying, do it like step by step. But so good. There's the eyes. And I didn't have to do much cleanup, but if you had to, just take a Q-tip. You can put a little bit of eye makeup remover on it and like just swipe underneath and anywhere where you need to like clean it up a little bit. But there you go. See you guys later.